Hey guys, what's up? It's Internet X, and welcome back to another episode of Talking to the Internet. Now, this is an interview series based around creatives in the creative world, and it's meant to provide insight on how to break into the industry and hear the stories of accomplished figures within the industry. So, I am beyond excited to introduce my next guest. We have a Brooklyn legend, a young legend in the building. Not only is she a singer, but she's a producer, a DJ, a model, an entrepreneur. She's been published in magazines like ID, Vogue, Wonderland. She's worked with brands like Supreme, Nike, Converse, Vans, the list goes on and on. She's the owner of a creative label called TRANCE Records, and her first debut EP, Poster Girl, has reached over 1 million streams, and she is fresh off of a Color Studios performance. Introducing my client, my best friend, Talia Goddess. So, how are you feeling? I always start off with that question.
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm chill. Today was interesting. You were late, but we'll talk about that. Okay, so first, I just want to say this is like gonna be a very interesting interview because the fact that we're like friends made me just like enter this from a whole different point of view. Like usually it's very easy for me to talk to somebody who I don't know, but it's harder to talk to someone that I do know because there's a lot that like goes into that, and we can get into a lot of things. And you gave me free range to go into it all, so we're gonna go into it all today.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay, so I want to start off with a question that is very broad, but it's going to start us off. How did you become Talia Goddess?
How did I become Talia Goddess?
Talk up a
The
little bit.
brand, the icon.
The icon.
It started off as an Instagram handle. It wasn't because I had like my government name Instagram for like, your friends, your family, super PG. And then I had my ghetto, my raunchy, my ratchet Instagram, Talia Goddess, that, they wouldn't find me on, and I would just be posting like the real me, just wilding out, getting dressed, going out. And so it was just a username. It wasn't like a thing to go by. But I think I want to say like late 2018 through 2019 was when I started to like take DJing seriously and started to go out to parties and get into like modeling and fashion. And so these people, they would reach out like Talia, like just off of my Instagram, and I'd be like, okay, like well, first I'd be like, well, actually, I just like feeling really like almost a bit of an identity crisis, like, oh my God, like these people, they think that I'm this and I'm that. But then I realized it's actually a good thing to separate my personal identity from this like public because that creates that separation from my personal life to, doing work and, people thinking that they know me on the street just because they see Instagram. And then just like social media, just like posting a lot of photos and it just gaining a lot of traction. I was also dating a girl that was Instagram famous, and we were like an Instagram couple for a moment. And like that was just like that Instagram persona that then transferred into this like this brand and this music identity, and just like being able to have a rebirth almost, because the Tayana, I've been performing since I was a child, and just, if you look up Tayana, like you see videos from when I was like 10, so I was like, okay, this is a new slate, and I just took it from there. So
Okay, so you said you've been doing music since like what age is that? Like 2008, 2009?
I was 6. Yeah.
Six. Okay, so having done it then and like still being a musician now, what's the biggest change that you see in the industry since you've been a child?
It's different faces, but it's all the same shit, to be honest. Like even back then, there was people promising me the world. Oh, you're gonna be the next big thing. You're gonna be like Justin Bieber, whatever. Like, whatever. And like, it's just about how they benefit. So, a lot of like false promises, and then not to say that I experience that too much now, but just like people who are incentivized based on their own like personal gain, and just sort of like weeding through that. And just, since then, obviously, like I've not worked with those people anymore. And then just like almost like different tiers, I guess, because when I was younger, like there were other child performers. It wasn't like beef, but it was just like a little cringy because like you could tell that their parents were like forcing their child to do music and they would write like love songs that made no fucking sense and do all that like cheesy shit. But like I genuinely just love to perform. I was producing my own shit, I was writing it, like, my parents were just supporting it. But um I think like real shit just like lasts a lot longer because I don't know where those kids are now, to be honest. No shade.
Okay, so then let's go into high school. What picked up first, DJing or you being an artist
I want to say DJing because I was throwing parties since I was 14. So,
in your
um,
basement?
yeah, my dad's basement. It was
Oh
ghetto
wow.
as hell though. They just shut down. The cops would come. They would try to fight my dad. Like, oh my god, it's crazy. But yeah, I didn't start releasing music because like, um, granted, like I didn't really know the medium to do it because you see like these big artists and it's like how like I think once SoundCloud came out, it was like SoundCloud was a thing like 2018. That's when I started to like put songs on there. But like before that, it was throwing parties, DJing, like yeah.
So you talked about dating a girl in high school who was like influential or like that's what like led you to like a influencing path. So talk about like that experience and then talk about like the because you were already doing things that like were marketable. So how did getting that new like audience change your like approach of doing music or just like marketing yourself or being this Talia Goddess brand?
It wasn't too planned out to be honest. Like we were just both really fly and like to take pictures and like um obviously like when you see that it's getting a lot of like recognition, like even outside of Instagram, like as in school, like just going to LaGuardia was like a fashion fucking show. Like everybody was a 10. So it wasn't even just about social media, it was just about like being this like augmented version of yourself. Um, and so, as that relates to performing, just having a performance background, you do put on these costumes and you do dress up and you do like have that like persona, like that persona, anyways. So it wasn't too like, okay, now we're gonna take this flick, just like just being and knowing that people are watching us. And I think it was kind of tricky though, to be honest, because like there's still little nuances in how you're perceived and received that you can't control that does affect your self-esteem and how you look and feel about yourself. So it wasn't like, oh, like hey, like it was just like just trying to keep it. Honestly, I wasn't even trying to do all that. I was just like doing my own thing. And I think like once we broke up actually was when I really started to like step in and find my own personal like style and visual identity. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I would say that you're somebody who's very like self-aware in terms of like their image and who they are and what they stand for. So how did like being in that light like alter that or like how have you been able to like stay somebody who's self-aware in the like light of working with brands and in the light of like people like seeing you and you thinking, oh, I need to like maybe dress up this way to have to get this amount of likes or like I mean I know you said it wasn't calculated,
Yeah.
but like but like how you maintain yourself of like your presence because you're like you in every room I would say.
I think my authenticity is what's gotten me so far. So it's a lot easier to think like that as opposed to trying to be like someone else. Like I've since like a long time ago debunked the idea of trying to be anything other than how I am. I'm not good at it, and it's just like not what resonates. But like yeah, I think I also do know that like I can like play into what I know people are looking for. It just like sort of like the parts that I know, like the strongest parts of myself, just like letting it shine, And I'm a big believer in like just like attracting what is meant for you. Like it'll just work out. Like I wasn't really like going to castings or anything. It was just like I want you. It wasn't like you got to be selected. It was just like I want you for your style, for your swag. Like it wasn't just about being this perfect, picture perfect like figure. So
Okay, so what was one of your first opportunities that you got from like social media?
I would say like the first one was probably Bershka. That was 2018. Um, it was like I did a shoot with them. I got free clothes and like they had a party with like open bar, and I was like, ooh, like I was like, what, 16? And like, just being around Soho, like I was like, okay, like we outside, like and then I think shortly after that, like Depop was coming up. They were having a lot of events. Like summer 2019 was lit as fuck. And then I think the first big one was with MCM. That was like 2019.
Okay. So I know you always talk about like behind the scenes, you just talk about your experiences on set and like specifically dealing with like styling and hair and like these people trying to like make you fit into their brand basically, but like you also have to remain like you are a brand yourself. So like what have some of your experiences been on set in terms of like finding like your like sticking true to who you are and like putting your foot down?
Mhm. I think when I first started, I was like, I'm very much happy to be here. I'm with whatever, do whatever you want. I don't care. Like, just know nothing. Just because, like,
You have to be there.
yeah, like, I'm not, and I've never been like, oh, I'm a model. So just to be in these spaces, I just like, shit, go off. But then, like, I would see it and I'll be like, But I think it's also like, it's more of a reflection of them than me because, like, I'm obviously fly. That's why you wanted me. But you are trying to, it almost feels like a service as well. Like I'll like this is very transactional. Like I'm not attaching my brand or what I actually am. I'm here to fill what it is that you're hiring. Because at the end of the day, like it's it's like being tokenized, like anyways, and just like just like a campaign, just to sell shit. So I've never been like, oh, it has to be the real me, and I have to like, I don't give a fuck, like you're paying me like to do this. So at first I didn't like really, and also like, I don't, it's not a part of my social media. Like if I liked it, I'll post it, but like it's not. I don't know. I think I'm really good at separating it, but as I progress and work with certain brands, there is that okay, like if I'm going to be working with this brand and have this platform and this visibility, I do actually want to like it and I want it to represent and reflect me as well because it just is two different things. And it's just like, I think the disconnect is on their end in terms of like what their vision board is and just them always being like a few steps behind like culture and just like trends. Um, but I mean, it is what it is, like there's not much like I can personally do, but I think I'm working on speaking up more and being on sets like, okay, don't do my hair like that. I don't like that color. This doesn't fit well, or because
So the times where you like weren't very vocal about it, do you think it's been worth it? Like the advancement that you've had in your career from those opportunities to like those opportunities coming out, has it all been worth it? Like whether you liked the opportunity or not?
I think so. Like I try to be easy to work with, I hear stories, about, people, and obviously, like the thing is, the industry is very small. So, like, even if you feel some kind of way about something, like, just try to be like mindful of how you do it. Because if you piss somebody else off, they're gonna be, oh, that girl, like, then you're not gonna get work in the future. So, just being mindful of like, tread lightly, not in terms of like silencing yourself, but just like being tactful and like playing your cards right, and just knowing like which battles are worth to fight. Because I mean, like I think it's valuable because I learned from it, so like that's always something to take away.
Right. So do you get used to being hit up by these brands or working with these brands? Or is it still like a moment of you being like, wow, like this is me, like they really want me? Or are you like, no, I'm mad, like
At this point, I'm like when I get an email, the first thing I look for is the dollar sign to see like I think it's a great learning experience. Just getting call sheets, being on sets and the production and all the different variables. So it's always a learning experience. Pays well, so I'm always like looking out for that dollar sign for me. But I think like as I like especially progress as a brand, I'm just sort of seeing like what it means to be a brand in terms of like culture and music and like what things like align with others. Like for example, like Dr. Martens. Like I've been wearing Dr. Martens since I was in middle school, so like that is a big part of like my identity, my style, and like my scene. And so just being mindful of that regard and just not always taking things just for money, I think, is what I'm like learning as I do things. Because sometimes you do shit and it's just like, like it's not even worth the money because it's so whack, you know? You can't put a price on this shit. So, yeah.
Okay, so you started off talking a little bit about a girl that you were dating. So I want you to talk about like your queer journey and coming out and how that was for you. Because not only are you queer, but you're from a Caribbean household, which is like if you know type vibes. But talk about your experience coming out and finding out that you were queer.
I realized that I was attracted to girls in 6th grade. I was already wildin', like I'm like Caribbean kids, you grow up fast, like you know, playing booty tag, there's that and that, whatever.
Booty tag? Bro, what
Yes,
is that?
like they would run around. Y'all don't know, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Like, come on, like. But it was like an emotional thing. It wasn't like, oh, I want to kiss you, or I want to like touch you. Like it was like, like a genuine crush and like love and just like unconditional care and like protection for this person. And it scared the fuck out of me. I was like, yo, because she was Jamaican
The same
and
vibe.
she lived on my block too. So I was like, you know, like we grew up together and I was like, oh, like I don't want to ruin our friendship and like, you know, and I never told her like to this day, but like her mom one day went through her phone and like saw our text and was like, you're about to get like I don't know, like you know, just like kind of picked up like I don't know, just in the language, I don't know. Um, After that, like I've always been like very comfortable in my own skin. Um, but I wasn't like really doing anything until like I got to high school because LaGuardia is gay as fuck. Like everybody is gay. Like that was the main reason I wanted to go, to be honest, because I was like, I was not trying to sing classical music, but I was like, shit. Um, it's queer, artsy, and I came out because okay, the way I came out, I also started smoking weed when I was a freshman in high school. And the first time I got caught, because I was like on Snapchat posting it, my cousin snitched on me. My mom was like, "Don't do that again," you know. And I was like, "All right, obviously I'm gonna do it again." Like I really even got it. It wasn't even real smoke. Like I was faking it. I didn't. Okay, whatever. The second time I got caught, she was even more mad because she was like, "You broke my trust. You said I was." I'm just thinking like, obviously, but anyways, I was just like, she's like, "Why? What's going on? Why are you doing this?" And like I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity to come out. So I was like, Mom, like I like girls and it's been emotionally like stressful. So I've been you know, just kind of like using my sexuality as kind of a scapegoat. I mean, I just laid all my cards on the table. Like I smoke weed and I'm gay. So and then
Pick
she
the
was
poison.
yeah, like, she was at first she was like, you know, like we kind of had a heart to heart, and she's like, you know, God loves you, you know, God still loves you, but you know, as time went on, there was just sort of the unpacking of like, damn, my child is gay, like, and just internalized like homophobic ideas that you know you didn't realize you internalized until like your daughter is like gay, and what does that mean? What does that look like? And just all these questions. Um, to be fair, my older sister is gay on my dad's side. So when my dad found out, I was like, why are you mad? You already have one gay daughter. Like, so. But at that point, I had came out like 2 years before to my mom. So I was just like, you're mad late. Because when he found out, like, he kind of switched up. He got so mad. I was like, oh my God, like, that's. And I was like, I've been gay this whole time, but you didn't know. So the only thing that changed was your perspective. So, um, and it's just not, and I hate how sexualized like sexuality is. Like, it's not just about like girls and like sex, but just like queerness. And you know, and queerness to me is not just about sexuality, but just like how you carry yourself, like being open-minded, being able to step outside of the status quo and do and try things that other people aren't doing.
So this segment is called 10 Seconds to Explain, and I have 10 photos of the guests here, and I'm going to show them it, and they have 10 seconds to explain why they wore it, and then after they're going to give their rating on it. You ready?
We were in Paris and we got new hats and new shoes. Already copied half of my fit, so I was like, okay, but we got a free dinner, right? 0.5.
I think that it's a calm fit. It's like giving you and your like soft side. Like I feel like that's like your casual fits. So I'm gonna rate it 7. Are you ready?
No. That was one of my most viral photos, so I would give it I'll give it an 8. I was very colorful and happy. And I just got a new wig.
I like the colors. I feel like nowadays it'd be hard for you to get into colors, but it's a calm fit. It's okay. So I'm gonna give it
You're a hater.
a 5. Sorry. I'll be a hater. Okay, next.
Okay. Well, you styled that, so that's why you're so happy. No, it was a good fit. We ate that. That was a look.
Rating?
9.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just agree with that. I'll give it a 9. Boom. Okay, 9. Go ahead.
That was a fire fit.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
That was a great.
What's the actual rating?
That's a 6.
That's a 6?
That's a 6.
Okay, my turn. I'm just rating. I'm not gonna say nothing. It has something.
It's quirky.
Definitely.
You're a hater.
That's a 1, bro. That's a generous 1.
Wow.
All right. Oh look. Okay.
Oh, I'm wearing that skirt right now.
Yeah, that sounds like okay.
That was a new moment for me. New hair, new shoes, new city. That's great, honestly.
Rating?
10 out of 10.
10?
10.
I'm gonna give it 8.
Okay. Agree to disagree.
Okay, next. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I hated that shit.
I know. I don't know why. Okay, just explain it. Go ahead.
First of all, that wig was backwards.
Go ahead. Rate it.
It's kind of 7.
7? Okay. That was one that I styled. I remember that day. You really did hate that. For the I'll give it I'll agree. It's a 7. I'll give it a 7. But people reacted really well to that photo. I will say that.
Okay. That was calm. We was in Milan, Italy, blowing the besties out. That was cute.
Rating?
I give it an 8.
Okay. I remember that it was a calm look. It's I wouldn't wear it, I wouldn't style it, but it's calm. I would give it a 6. It's a 6, bro. It's calm. It's calm.
The gray, the hair, everything was coordinated.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Natalie styled that. Natty styled that.
She's gonna hate me after.
She styled that. That was a fun shoot though, but it's a 5.
It's a 5 is generous. Natty is another person who works with me styling tea. I'm sorry, Natty. It's a 3. That was not it at all.
It was cute in some other photos.
Love you, Natty.
The post was nice.
The pose?
Yeah. Okay, you guys found that.
I did.
That was for colors.
That was.
I love the pants. It was cute. No. Okay, I'm gonna rate that
6. Okay. I thought that was cute. I remember that. That was colors. Fun. I'm gonna give it a 7. I thought it was calm. Okay, this is the last one. This is about to open up a conversation. Are you ready?
No. Yes. Ah, yes. That was a great day.
It was a great day.
I really like that fit. It was cool.
Rating?
A 7.
I would agree. I would agree with that. I'll give it a 7 as well. A 7. Okay. Okay, so that was 10 seconds to explain. That last photo that I showed, that was BTS of Poster Girl music video,
Yes.
which was recorded. That was the first time we ever worked together. That was 2 years ago.
That was June 2020.
2021, and that video hasn't come out.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are asking questions about where the Poster Girl music video is. It's your time to answer the question.
Long story short,
I think we should make a long story long.
Nah, okay. Poster Girl and just that whole EP and album was a lot of firsts for me. It was my first like trance video project, official video shoot. And one of our friends, wanted to work with my collaborators, my creative friends. Let's come together, do some dope shit. Obviously, some good relationships were made. But basically, somebody who kind of how I was talking about how people promise you the world and then don't deliver. It was one of those situations where the person was like, they came to me and was like, yo, I want to shoot a Poster Girl video. I love this song. I'll do it for free. Like, just passion project. And I was like, okay, bet, let's do it. It was like, I personally just, didn't really want to, but I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And we did the video shoot, it was a lot of money and time, and unfortunately the production team just couldn't manage like the workload, whether it was like needing to shoot an extra day because they didn't get enough shots, or needing extra time, or the laptop there wasn't enough storage, or this, that, and just so many like hiccups that came up, and just a lack of professionalism that ultimately just really soured the experience. It fucked our friendship up. Like, what was supposed to be a 2-week turnaround turned into 5 months plus. Well, never, because up to now it's still not finished. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? If I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just holding you accountable. You said, where's the video? What the hell? Like, so I don't know. It got to a point where it was just like, you know what? It feels like I'm forcing it, like it wasn't even like from the mood board and the concept to the end video, it wasn't even what it was supposed to be. Then they brought up paperwork and was like, because I did it for free, I own it. And it was just like, it just got so messy. And I'm really big on energy and having like really good experiences. And it just went so sour that I didn't want to put it out because it wasn't finished. I couldn't even put it out. And then it just got so complicated. And it was just a learning lesson though, to get things in writing from the jump, so you are all clear on what to expect. To make sure that people actually are credible and have what it takes, because that was also like his first official video as well. So it was, obviously I'm not gonna be like, okay, you're an amateur, but low key, like you kind of were, and it was a great experience though. I feel like that was like a really cool moment. And it's crazy because somebody else, like this college, did a music video to Poster Girl. So the fact that somebody else did a music video to my own song, I remember I looked it up, and it was this other girl singing Poster Girl, like she was the Poster Girl, and the video was fire. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, take it down though, because that's not your song. But that was when I was like, all right, yeah.
That's mad funny.
Yeah.
So around that time, that was like when we first started to work together. You were working a lot with ASAP Ferg at the time. Obviously, you're not really working with him now. Talk about that? What happened with that?
Oh God. I mean, it's one of those things like people are just kind of poking their nose in. What are you doing? What do you got going on? Okay. That's it. Um, so I've actually worked with him before in 2019. I was in his music video. My friend just hit me up. She was like, yo, come to Harlem. A$AP Ferg's doing a video shoot. I was like, what? And this is the one day I usually pop out every day. The one day I dress down, sweats, usually like video shoot. I'm like, fuck. Like, I skip school, I sneak out, run to Harlem. I didn't even know what Ferg looked like, to be honest. So I was like, just happy to be there. I'm like, wait, hold on. And the nigga was sitting right there. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, A$AP Ferg. Like, um, and then, A$AP Ferg is quite local. We followed each other. And then I forget what the actual the connection was. I posted a video of a performance and he was like, I think he DM'd me, he's like, yo, you're fire. Like, I pulled up to the studio and I was like, oh my god, like A$AP Ferg, like it's the studio. And so I went, I with my friend Johnny at the time, and we like linked up. I played him Poster Girl, and he was like, I want to sign you. Like, I want to sign you. And I'm like, mind you, like all of this, like how I keep saying, people gas in your head, all these like, oh my god, like shit, like it's gonna happen. Like, um, it's crazy. I actually got in an accident that night, and it was just crazy because it's like, oh my god, like life is flashing before my eyes. Like this is the moment to like da da da. Um, but long story short, like, um, you have somebody who's saying one thing, but then their lawyer or the paperwork is completely different. And in hindsight now, like what I mean, the offer was like really, really bad. But um just the way the music industry works, it's so fucked up anyways. So it's just kind of like you kind of have to you get put in a hole and you have to kind of dig yourself out the hole, but it's just like how deep is the hole? Because at first I was like 10K advance, like that's not even enough rent for a year, but you have to pay that back. So if I get like $1 million, you got to pay $1 million back, so in hindsight I'm like, okay, was it? I mean, but um we still keep in touch though. Like I send him beats, like he'll hit me up, just check in. He met my mom and he came to a few of my shows. But just in terms of it was just really like curiosity, just getting to know each other. And he was also like having a new like deal within his own career as well, his own label, rebranding it. So it was just yeah.
So do you think that if you weren't someone who's like been around the industry for a while and been like in these rooms or had the experiences with people who were like all talk and not really back it up, do you think you would have took that deal?
No, I feel like if it wasn't for modeling, because like modeling money, like you'll get 10K for one job, So you want 10K, you want ownership of all my music, and you want 5 albums. I was just like, in what world? Like, but no, I think there's no way to really know because I do have like I've been in the industry for a minute, so I've seen so many crazy contracts. So it's just like, what the fuck, but it's not that surprising. Like you hear it all the time, but you just I guess to some people it's sort of like a sacrifice because maybe yeah, you will get your foot in the door. But to me it's not about just like fame or success. It's about developing my artistry and building my career like organically and just the experience, the ownership. I think that's a big topic right now in the industry, especially just like really owning your music, owning your work, owning your intellectual property, and building the wealth that you deserve. Because there's people that work like I have label meetings, and all these A&Rs and stuff, they're getting like we'll get dinner or like tickets or flown out or concerts like on the dime of the very artists that they sign who are like millions of dollars in debt, whereas these people are employed, have salaries, just to like enjoy and like live life. So it's really important to me to like have something that's fair. And it's also like, why does it have to be so fucked? Like why can't it just be like, like you make the records, like why do you have to own everything? Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, so last A$AP for a question. A while ago, you played a song for me off of your EP,
Oh yeah.
and he has a verse on it. Is that ever coming out?
I don't know, maybe. It was funny though, because like I think it was another studio session. I was just playing like some new music and he was like, yo, airdrop that to me, to the like engineer. I'm like, okay. Turn on the mic. Man's literally like went in the booth, and just freestyled the whole verse. It was just crazy how fast like it was done, you know, and it just gave me perspective because me is like I produce my own music. I have to start from scratch. Like there's no sounds. I gotta, you know, it's a very slow process. It's not just like, okay, there's an instrumental, let me do some ad libs, freestyle, and da da da. So it was just interesting seeing that process. And I think it sounded good too. Like it was like a really cool contrast to a very mellow and like um sultry song. Um, I did ask him if he wanted it to come out, but I think he didn't respond. So maybe I don't know.
Okay. Now, a lot of people think like that, or a lot of people want their career to like move very fast and like pick up fast. They want to see results like as soon as they put in the work. But I know Poster Girl took you how long to like like from start, like from the first song that was like even started to be produced, like how long was that from the time it came out?
Um, I the first song I think "Never Wanna Fall" and "For You" I made like late 2018.
And that
So
EP came out
it
in
came out 2021. So 19, 20, 21. 3 years. 3 years. Yeah, it takes time too, and you know, I was doing it all myself, producing it, mixing it, mastering, recording,
So
cover
how
art.
did you start that producing? How did you like get into where'd you even get the mindset to want to do it yourself?
I was tired of these people fucking my shit up because, you know, like if you want to do something right, you have to do it yourself. I like got to the conclusion because New York is a very hip hop dominated city. So growing up, you know, I'd be in these studio sessions with these engineers that are like, you know, grown ass men that, you know, work with rappers and men, and maybe they have like a R&B singer that's a woman, and, you know, she it's kind of corny, you know, but the kind of music that I was making and I wanted to make was unlike any of that. So they didn't really understand like sonically what I was trying to do. So while I did learn, you know, just like studio etiquette and like, you know, plugins and just like high quality sounds to make music sound good, because, you know, the music that I was making when I was 9 was like very like not, you know, not quality, you know, releasable. So I had to develop, you know, my skill set to be like, okay, you know, just learning, like being in those spaces. I used to go to a lot of producer meets or just like producer ciphers where we would like play beats, exchange sounds, get like plugins and stuff. So I'd go in my hard drive, leave with some new sounds to make a song to it, and just like that artist development, you know, and it was a lot more complex for me just having to do it myself and figure it out. But it didn't feel like it didn't feel like a burden. It was just that curiosity and that natural desire to want to, all right, I'm gonna learn bass, I'm gonna learn drum, I'm gonna learn guitar, like, because I hear it, and it's just a matter of like being able to execute what I hear. And yeah, I wasted so much money on people mixing my songs, and I get it back, and it sounds like garbage. I'm like, what? How did you sit here and think that sounded good, and you still want my money? Like, um, but yeah, it definitely took time, like YouTube, you know, I spent a lot of time in high school just like, and even just my whole like life just being on a computer, you know. I think growing up in a time where you get your iPad and your iPod and like, you know, technology is advancing, and so you have so many more accessible tools was really crucial to me developing and starting early, because I was able to, you know, like learn and find things, as opposed to like, you know, like even before the CDs, like having to go and buy records and like go to a professional studio to record. Like now you can do it in your bedroom, you know? So just took time, yeah.
How have you been able to like get all these opportunities by yourself?
Oh, they just come to me. I just be minding my business, doing my thing, being myself. Like I don't have an agency, I don't have a label. I mean, I have my own label, but most of the time, it's like word of mouth. Like if I'll take Supreme for, oh yeah, Awake. I forgot I work with
Oh
Awake.
yeah, yeah, that's it.
In the case of Supreme, they had reached out last winter because like Awake, I mean, Angelo used to be the director of Supreme, and so when I was modeling for Awake, you know, you see the name around, you see the face, and I was DJing their parties, and also like the industry is so small, so like kind of goes back to what I was saying about word of mouth, um like not like being tactful and not stepping on toes, because you never know who knows who, you never know who anyone is, so always try to like be graceful and like kind. But yeah, they really just come to me like it's word of mouth, or they see the social media, or like um yeah, like it's pretty much it.
Okay. So what's the experience like traveling with the brand? Because you've been, what, you did Milan with Supreme,
Yeah, I did Milan, we did
Miami with
Miami.
Diesel, and then you
Um,
did Paris with
I did
Converse.
Paris, yeah.
How's that?
It's lit. It's very nice. It just makes you see how much money there is.
That's a
The
fact.
the Milan one was crazy. Like,
Nah,
cause
what
since
happens in Milan stays.
okay, look, you're not about to throw me under the table. Okay, look, I'm gonna tell y'all. Basically, Supreme hit us up literally like a week before. Like, yo, you want to DJ in Milan? I'm like, hell yeah. Can I bring my friends? Like, they're like, okay, bet. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, guys, you have your passports. Get your. What do you do next week? Like, cancel. So flew us out, Emirates. Um,
Hotel,
5-star hotel. We had a
our own
driver
rooms.
pick us up. We had our own rooms in the
We were thinking
5-star
that we were
hotel.
about to be in the
Yeah.
same room. We were like, okay, who's gonna sleep on the couch?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, we're going a little cozy. Nah, we all had our own fucking rooms. Driver everywhere. Um, and there's how many days do you want to stay? And it's just like, what? Like, this is crazy. And I'm being paid here. So it's really fun. It's just I think like it also makes me think about like just the fashion world, how a lot of it, like as opposed to music, because music, like you're struggling just to get someone to pay $10 to come to your show, you know. But in fashion, you know, like their products are like hundreds of dollars, you know, like every client, they're getting like hundreds of dollars from them, so they have so much surplus, and like it kind of goes back into like that lifestyle that does create the standard and like that level of brand that it is. So like I'm like, okay. And then you start to like champion and like rep them, like, yeah, fuck with Supreme, because I would never have bought, I'd never buy a Supreme, like never, like, but you know, when you get it for free, you know, it just kind of makes you feel like, okay, like that's that influencer aspect, and being able to, you know, like represent and be affiliated with certain brands, you know, just being in New York, like streetwear culture, being tomboyish. So yeah, you kind of see the value in like that trade.
So traveling with all these brands and just seeing the world, how does that change your perspective, like being from New York and like the appreciation that you have for it, or like what's drawn you apart from it?
Mhm. Um, I think the biggest eye opener was just seeing how much American culture has influenced the rest of the world. Like when we were in Milan, and it's a bunch of white Italian men, they don't even speak English, rapping all the words to Kodak. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even listen to Kodak. That was like, and they have the do rags and the caps and the New York hats and the sagging and just the whole style. I was like, first, it kind of made me. I mean, still, I'm like, y'all are not. You don't even know what you're doing. But it is also like, I'm from New York. Like, you know, I get to represent that, and just, you know, you just see like, obviously, it's also a greater conversation of like imperialism and like U.S. like, you know, influence. But on a cultural level, like, just seeing that was actually kind of crazy to me. But on the flip side, like just also seeing like a wider range of like people and culture and lifestyles, and especially like as it relates to music, like being in London and just hearing like house and drum and bass and like garage and jungle and all these like just so I'm a piano, Afro beats, dancehall, and there's just like so many little pockets of people and just like bigger like identities of like black, you know, this black British, black African, black Caribbean, like, you know, it's like so many different things. And so it puts into perspective like African American is a culture, it's so prominent. And it's crazy because, you know, there's a lot of like black Americans like, you know, where you're from, like I'm from nowhere, I don't know where I'm from. No, bro, like just say like your parents are from the South or whatever, because I feel like there is this sort of like, oh, I don't know where I came from ideology that a lot of African Americans have, when it's like, nah, bro, like because if you think about it, like Nigeria, and even if you think about like Guyana or like Jamaica, a lot of these colonies are like relatively like new nations. So just at the same time as your grandmother was growing up, somebody else's grandmother in Nigeria was growing up too. So like the lineage that is there, like it's the culture is like growing at the same time. Like it's not like a direct connect just because, you're black, like there's just as much of a culture in the US as there is like in the UK, and that experience. And it just made me think about my identity a little bit closer, and just being like first generation American and having a Caribbean background, which I sort of felt when I first went to high school, and just being around, because I grew up in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, which is like Caribbean, specifically like shut up. Brownsville. It's across the street from Brownsville. First generation Caribbean families. So to go to fucking West 66th Street, I'm around white people, Latin, Asian, Black Americans. I'm like, what? This is crazy, Like, um, but yeah, no, like it's also just like New York can sort of feel like a bubble as well, because you like there's so much going on, but it is just also like a really like dense like compression of all these different things.
Okay, so this segment is called the Style Experience, and this is where I style the guests. Now, this is interesting because I actually am Talia's stylist, so we do this all the time. And I'm just start off by saying she's the most difficult client ever. No, she's very like that. How we talked about like you being very like true to who you are. You have your own style, and sometimes it switches. So, well, what attracts you on the rack, first of all?
Nothing. Just curious. What's in my shirt vibe?
I feel like you have like a 70s kind of like you've been digging into your 70s bag recently.
It's more like UK academia.
That's what you call it?
Yeah, like smart university kid. Totally.
Okay. I had a little bit of a different approach. I feel I'm gonna style you. So well, okay. There's first I should say there's two to leave. Whenever we style you, we always ask you, do you want to be femme or mass? Because that's usually your two vibes. I assume that you'll be femme today. And I was right, because you wore a skirt. And you're for me.
I can switch it up like right now. So
Yeah, you can, but I think I want to stay where we are.
go ahead.
So, okay, first, I want to walk through some of the things that I think you would like. This I know you would like because I made it. You told me that you like it.
Oh, that's a camel skirt.
Yeah.
That is cute. I thought it was just
Yeah, this is fire. Let's see. Some of the things I don't think you would like on the rack, but I think you like in person.
I also like that.
This one, I like because the crop, right?
Yeah.
Or you just like it. This is yours, actually. You remember when we first started working together, and I told you stop wearing this. She has like too many pictures in this
My
piece.
dad not even have one.
A picture?
Oh, okay, maybe one.
Yeah, that's not true. I used to see it all the time. That was her signature skirt.
Count.
If everybody sees it, it counts.
Who's everybody?
If you wear it in performance, it counts. You may not post the pics, but the pics are somewhere in the internet. Okay. Anyways, so I want to start with this skirt. I know that you wouldn't have picked it out, but do you see her face? You have to give me time. Because you have to give you the unexpected. What you want isn't what you're always going to get. Okay, this. And I feel like what I'm about to do is kind of giving like a UK vibe as well. Okay, and then I want to put this on top of it. And then, and then we're going to layer, but I want to start with this. And then for shoes, though, so obviously we have all Doc Martens. They're part of your history, so you love dogs, so they were able to sponsor this segment. I want for these.
Yeah, it's not bad. Let's see how it fits though.
Let's see how it fits. I have some. We can fix it up. I have some stuff. Let's start with this. Let's start. So this is a base fit. We're gonna build upon it. So first thing I want to do is get some clips, and I want to bring this up because this is a little too long. She likes her skirts like she likes her men short. I don't lie. And then, so I put it up a little bit. I'm gonna close this up just to hide that like part right there. Now I want to do some layering. I want to start with this coat. This is a coat from this brand called Greymanstein, and I don't want you to put your arms through it because it's a bit like small. Move your hair. I'm gonna just put it over you like this, and then
Fun, aren't you?
you said what? I know. I whenever without her, it's usually like no, no, no. So this time she gets to say nothing, and I get to put whatever I want on her. Okay, and these glasses are from Aquila, so I want you to put these on. You could tell when she doesn't like something by her body language. It's bad funny. And then this is you didn't even see it. And I want to put this hat on you. This is a personal hat of T's. You have to take your hair down.
All right. The blind hat.
Ooh, wait, okay. I kind of turn around. I kind of like this by itself, but I'm gonna add the coat on top. I think this is fire. Would you? You wouldn't
I
wear
have
this?
no idea what I look like.
Oh, you don't know what you look like? Okay. Well, we'll keep it like that for now. Let's put this over. I kind of love this. I think would be a final fit for me. This would be I could see you doing a performance and then like walking in with this on and then dropping it on some dramatic. Drop it right now.
I love a long coat. I'll drop it right now.
It would give a nice effect. But
I see where you were going.
what would you style yourself in?
I told you I would do the.
No, you said what you liked. You done that before though.
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this.
Okay. Okay, we'll put this on for the final look. Okay, so I'm gonna run down exactly what she's wearing. So the hat, where'd you get that from? Urban Outfitters. Okay. The sunglasses are from Aquila. The jacket, I actually don't know what brand this is. Let's see. This is from a brand called Maje, M-A-J-E. The skirt is thrifted. The boots, of course, Doc Martin. The jacket is from Greymanstein, and this is the style experience. Let's move on. We talked about a lot. I just styled you. So tell us what's next for you. What can we look out for in the future?
You could look out for me.
That's the answer, just you?
I don't watch language. The possibilities are endless. No, but I got new music coming.
New music coming. Okay, fire. And acting in the future?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna wrap this up. First, obviously, I want to say thank you so much for being in here. It means the world. You know, you're supposed to be the first person that I ever interviewed, but you were in London, so I couldn't do it. But we finally got you here.
I'm very proud of you. I've been talking about this for a very long time, so happy to see information. It's just gonna get bigger and bigger, so.
It's a fact. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this. This is Talking to the Internet with Internet X and Talia Goddess. Do you want to tell everybody where they could find you on social media?
No. Just kidding. No, you can find me at Talia Goddess, TALIAGODDESS, everywhere.
All right. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching.